Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, Daniel Manuel Sear. Quick disclaimer before this episode starts. The audio on Bobby's end is a little messed up, and I did the best I could to fix it. It originally sounded as if he was in empty gymnasium screaming at a microphone that wasn't even in the gym. It was like 2 miles away. So the quality's not going to be up to par or as good as it usually is, but I hope you guys can look past it because I think it's a great episode in itself. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.
The longest yeah boy ever.
Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Frying Pan. I'm your host, Daniel Sear,
Ooh.
and I'm here with my co-host.
Robert, the setting sun D'Onofrio. How's it going today?
Beautiful. You are the setting sun. We're going to skip formalities and we're going to jump right into Game of Thrones final season trailer dropped.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we skipped formalities just to talk about that because I just watched it and I got goosebumps. I'm kind of turned on. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, I'm very turned on. Nothing else in my life really matters at the moment. All that matters is in a little over a month we will be getting our Game of Thrones.
Honestly, yeah. If you were to tell me I had a year to live, I'd be happy just because I'd be able to sit through the 6 weeks that is Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
6 weeks, by the way. That's bizarre to me.
I know it's so weird because it's like it was it's kind of similar to remember last year when we saw Infinity War and we're like, oh my god, we have to wait a whole year to see it again. But like,
That year flew by.
yeah, I know 'cause it's hard. That's also in a month. But fucking Game of Thrones, we marathoned it, and then when we watched it, we watched the premiere, or yeah, we watched premiere, but we all watched it separately, like throughout the season. When we got to the final episode, it was like it's gonna be 2 years,
Yeah,
and
right.
here it is. Here we are.
That's actually kind of crazy to think about because at least I have been watching Game of Thrones around since it came out. So around 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I guess, because the gap. So
Yeah.
it's kind of weird because I've always had basically my spring to summer go by so fast because I'm waiting on Game of Thrones every Sunday.
That's true. It's
That's kind of hype though.
yeah. I picked it up late. I think the first time I watched it actually was when we marathoned it, like all the way through. Because I think I watched some of the first season and I was like, oh, it's okay. And then I skipped to I think like season three, end of season three, halfway through season three or season four, can't remember. And that's when it started getting good to me, and I was like, this is it. This is the one.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow start, or not really. It's just like you don't really get many elements that get you hooked
Yeah.
that fast.
No, it takes a little bit.
Listen, that's hype from our friend Jordan. Sent us over something from IGN. Game of Thrones Season 8 set to include the longest consecutive battle sequence ever committed to film.
Yeah.
So, in the words of Jordan Thurston, Hobbit 3's record about to get rocked.
And I quote.
End quote.
But yeah, I think I also said something that it'll have like the most characters in that scene ever in the show's history, which would make sense, obviously. But
I'm so hyped. Actually, I was looking into how they filmed the show kind of recently. Did you know that there's some characters on the show that haven't met some of their cast members?
yeah, no, I've every like behind the scene video of that show I try to watch because I'm so interested on how they do it specifically. Like, did you ever see the whole spoilers, I guess, but the whole fight scene on the ice at the end of season or last season, I think.
I didn't watch the behind the scenes for that, no.
Oh, it's crazy. It's like I think they're in Iceland or Greenland, and it's like this huge, just like hollow middle mountain, and they fill it with concrete, and then they fill it over again with ice, and then they had to like manually make snow to cover the mountains for the scene.
Jeez.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's insane. Well, you know what? It's all worth it.
Oh yeah, I'd say the payoff's pretty good. I'd say it's definitely
Well,
worth the investment.
they definitely have a worldwide following.
Yeah, somewhat. Also, side news: Amelia Clark is doing a giveaway where you get to watch the premiere with her, and I'm not entering, but I do love Amelia Clark.
Let me go on record and say if I did win, I'd probably just die of a heart attack on the spot.
Yeah, I'd probably be
But
like, oh, sorry. Were you gonna?
you're good.
Oh,
You're good.
I was just gonna say if I won that, I'd probably be like a 5-year-old next to a girl that has cooties. So it wouldn't be good, but I'd still be like fangirling 24/7.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I'd probably sleep for a week afterwards because I'd have been so overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, that'd be reasonable.
Actually, on that same note of watching the premiere, my mother has just gotten her 2 gallon mark for donating blood. She's donated 2 gallons of blood so far
Oh
for
Jesus!
the Red Cross.
Wow.
Yeah, she likes to give blood. She thinks it's important. I'm personally too afraid to get my blood drawn because I'll pass out.
Oh, same. Actually,
But
I don't know if I would now. But hey, tell your mom I said great job.
yeah, and anyways, the reason why I brought that up is for hitting the 2 gallon mark, she has been entered in to be one of 8 winners to go see the world premiere of Game of Thrones.
To go see Jesus Christ in the flesh.
Might as well be. Nah.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
that could get people kind of mad. But
Well,
regardless, if she does win, I'll be there.
you already know who the +1 is, baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, what would you do if she was like, "Oh, I have a +1," and then it's like your other brother, "Hey, you want to come with?"
I'm gonna say wars have been started over a lot pettier things.
And I can agree. Within families and on a I guess global stance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh no, I would plunge the U.S. into civil war.
you just revolt against absolutely nothing but your mom.
Yeah. And it's like I can't even be mad at her because it's mom, so I'll just
Yeah.
be very mad at nobody.
Like when you get in trouble as a kid and you go to your room and you can't make any noises or like scream because then she'll come up and take care of you. So you have to like punch your pillow and just like that kind of scream.
Jeez. For me, it was more like I got sent to my room and I would just kind of like sit there quietly and just wonder who would come into my room first. Would I be leaving my room first to apologize, or would the parent come into my room first to make me apologize?
It's all a mind game.
That's what it was.
Now I'm picturing like you said you're gonna start a civil war, like it's a 30-year plan so that you become president, and like your first act is literally just war against your mom and only your mom. Like not to hurt her, but just to scare her. Like when a tank shows up outside her house.
Knowing my mom, if a tank just rolled up, she'd probably just assume it's there for a reason and go about her day like normal.
That's what my mom would be like. Oh, I don't want to bother them. It's like this affects you directly, and you're like, it's honey, you got this. You can deal with this.
For real though, quite literally, the only way she would go outside is if the tank was just making a loud, obnoxious noise. Because then all hell breaks loose to my mom.
Yeah.
She will burn a place to the ground to find out where obnoxious noise is coming from.
My mom's pretty similar, and that's why we love them.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Mom. I hope you're listening.
Shout out to you, Mom. Maybe you're listening.
Shout out to Dan's mom.
Shout out to Bobby's mom.
There it is.
There it is. That's our appreciation. Don't need to get a mother's gift this year. I think we got it covered.
All right. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good.
What about Father's Day?
Now that's in June, if I remember that.
All right, I'm glad you're on your toes. Or is it?
Well, my problem is I never remember if Mother's Day is in March or May.
I only know it's in May because it's like within a few days of my dad's birthday.
Oh.
So they always make a big celebration of it.
Is
for
Mother's
each other.
Day always on a Sunday?
Maybe. I wouldn't know. I'm not a mother.
Do you have one?
Oh, you're right. No,
Then again, that applies to me because I'm asking, huh?
Yeah,
Fuck.
fair. I'm not sure. Did you want to just skip formalities entirely? Because I know I have nothing going on in my life.
You know, I'm still gonna. I have to. We have to be consistent with it.
Okay.
Dan, how was your day today?
My day was good. Another day at the old grind. I'm getting my new glasses tomorrow, hopefully, and I'm getting my hair re-dyed tomorrow.
Gosh, Dan, you're shaping up to be a whole new snack.
You know me. I'm upgrading from a little Ritz cracker with a peanut butter where you put two together and make a sandwich. No, actually, hold on. I got a better analogy. I'm upgrading from a chocolate sandwich cookie to an Oreo.
Ooh. Now that's a big change we're talking
Yeah,
about. That's a noticeable change.
You know me. I like to step it up. And I'm going to see Travis Scott on Friday, and we'll see how that goes. I can't tell if I'm excited or if I just want to not go. Because it was like, it already got postponed, and the hype kind of died for me. So I'm just kind of like, eh.
Okay, now let me tell you something. You have to go just so you can tell me how it was.
You're right. Or just so I can hear Sicko Mode. Actually, I'll also hear Mo Bamba while I'm there. Which is the worst part.
Is Shaq West?
Yeah, Shaq West and Trippie Redd are there.
Wait, Trippie's there?
Yeah, they're like the opening acts.
Wait, that concert's gonna be hype. You have to go.
I know, but the whole issue is then I got to drive into Hartford, and then I got to drive out of Hartford, and that's just gonna be a huge pain in the ass.
Now, objectively, you could Uber.
Oh, that's gonna be expensive.
Or I could drop you off.
I wouldn't make you do. I wouldn't want to put you through that. Well, I'll find a way.
I'm literally right next to Hartford, so.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta take into consideration that it's a concert Friday at Hartford, so you're not getting in or out without waiting 2 hours.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I mean, I'll probably end up going, so it doesn't matter. But
that's good. I'm excited for you, friend.
Yeah. Anyway, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right. I had a little bit of an off weekend. I was kind of under the weather.
The weather.
The weather. But yeah, it was more like a head cold type of deal. Had a little bit of runny nose, kind of obnoxious. But I woke up feeling great. Today we had a snow day from school yesterday, so can't really complain about much.
Yeah, not bad.
Spring break starts in a week for me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Winter break was like a month ago.
It was, and then in 2 months you'll just be out of school.
College is weird. It goes by very fast.
Yeah, my advice: drop out. Mark Zuckerberg did it, so you can too.
Ooh, don't trigger me.
I love that shit.
When people say
love that shit.
They're like, Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard. Yeah, he got into Harvard. That's the key factor. I'd be dropping out of community college.
The claps are coming out. He's a little heated.
Shit, you heard that?
Shit, bitch. Yeah, I did.
I was punching my hand under the table.
I noticed. I heard. First topic of the day. Steven Spielberg's making a push to bar Netflix from the Oscars.
Interesting. Now, question. Why?
I think the way he sees Netflix is like he fears it'll be like a monopoly on the Oscars. Because I mean, this year alone they took 4 awards. I mean, I don't agree with it. I understand where he's coming from. It's kind of like Disney in media right now, where they just kind of bought everything, so just everything's from Disney. I think that's another topic. Is I think Disney's eventually going to become a monopoly. But yeah, I think his whole thing was he just didn't want them to take over the Oscars because Netflix is growing so much. But Netflix tweeted at him and clapped back with a pretty good response. They said, "We love cinema. Here's some things we also love. Access for people who can't always afford or live in towns without theaters. Letting everyone everywhere enjoy releases at the same time. And giving filmmakers more ways to share art. These things are not mutually exclusive."
I'm trying to decide whose side I'm on in this.
I respect Steven Spielberg, and I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I normally like shit on like Netflix originals, but it's it's nice that say people with like that don't have $200 million budgets can go somewhere and put their film out so that people can watch it. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm not disagreeing with that, but he's just trying to get them barred from the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, just because Netflix can't be at the Oscars doesn't really take away from the merit of the films.
Oh, I know, but it does take away from the like credibility. Like if you win an Oscar, it means normally you deserve the Oscar.
I kind of agree. It's very hard to quantify, right?
Hmm.
Like the way I would see it is like things that can win. What are things that can win Oscars? Just movies, yeah.
Yeah, but like Best in
Okay.
Picture TV show can't win that.
All right. Well, it's like, is he salty because Netflix beat out one of his films? Like that's what I'm trying to understand.
Oh, okay, no, I understand. His he like one thing that he thinks is like a big difference and the reason why they shouldn't win is because it's like a streaming platform instead of like a theatrical situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes
Like
kinda.
it's kind. I think the way he views it is how could like a Netflix show that you watch on TV when Best in Picture is like on a like on a movie screen. You know what I mean?
Okay, I accept that. That is a good that I'm on Spielberg's side then if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean that's how he worded it, and it makes a lot of sense. Like I don't disagree with it at all, but I do think that like a good movie should get the praise that a good movie deserves, no
I
matter where
really
it comes out.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely that.
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of hard though because I imagine what he's thinking is like the expectations for Netflix originals have to be low, right?
yeah,
So people are more inclined to vote for a Netflix original if it's good because your expectations weren't that high in the first place.
yeah.
So in turn, that can make it beat out some of the big picture films because if it's a big picture film, the expectations are always high.
I mean that's true, but you also got to remember what we figured out last time is that the Oscars is voted by fellow filmmakers.
Okay, that's
So
that's true.
I don't think it matters about budget in this scenario. It's just about what's a better movie. And where I'm kind of more on Netflix's side, because if the directors think it's a good movie and it wins an Oscar for it, then it's like it's for the movie, not for how you saw it. If you saw it like at your home or on a big screen. But like I definitely get where he's coming from. I think there's definitely rights. Like I don't think there's a right and wrong. I think it's just where you stand. Because both sides, I think, are
Yeah.
equally like right in where they stand. I mean, like Netflix is just like, sorry, bro, we're just putting out movies. Still, Spielberg is like, well, I'm not. I don't think it should be at the Oscars. Yeah, I mean, it's not taking away from the Netflix as a whole, but a good movie should get represented for it being a good movie, and that's
Well, it seems like he said like Netflix should be put on or should be instead of the Oscars. He believes that they should be eligible for the Emmys instead because he goes Emmys is for TV shows, therefore it should be Emmy worthy because it's streamed to your TV.
that's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, it's not like he's saying like they have to be barred from the whole like award stuff. Like I kind of agree. The Emmys does make sense.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. I just
Yeah, I guess it's weird because I've never only made the distinction of the Oscars like of yeah, it's for movies.
no, exactly. So that's why I'm like, oh, it should be there. But I guess if Best in Picture is designated for big screen, then I guess I understand.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that like will probably be eventually fleshed out. I imagine
Yeah.
Spielberg's probably not the only one that thinks this way.
No, I also don't think it's since the Oscars just happened. I don't think it'll be a big deal until it rolls around next year. So we'll cover it then. We'll keep you guys updated in a year. Just remember this one.
Yeah, just remember it. I do like Netflix's clapback though.
Yeah, I mean the way they wrote it was just like, yeah, you're not wrong by any means. I don't
That's
know.
true. Actually, they kind of did dance around it and just said that they. It's
What?
kind of a complicated thing.
Uh, yeah. like I said, I think it's just perspective. I don't think there's a right and wrong.
I agree with that.
I think people can like debate it out, but I guess like the real debate is just should it only be big screen movies that make it into the Oscars, or should it just be all movies together? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That reminds me, my mom used this. I don't know what the like business is called or the company's called, but you could turn like your VHS tapes into like DVDs.
Oh yeah.
And she's been watching all of our old like kid movies that we used to make, because I don't know what it was with my sister, but she liked or it might have been my mom just liked to film things, but my sisters really like to perform. Like one of them is my Emily, my sister, had when she was a kid, she had Emily's art workshop or whatever, and it was literally just her drawing on a piece of paper, and my mom filmed it. I can't like describe. I can't explain it well.
You know, I'm getting the mental picture. That's actually pretty damn cute. I never.
Yeah, it's just like home videos, and
my little shit self when I was a kid. If you pointed a camera at me, I'd evaporate.
It's funny though, because like when I started becoming like a cognitive young little shit, they just stopped filming, so I never got my big break. They never. I never had a Zach and Cody opportunity. It was kind of just tragic.
Oh, that's funny. Dan didn't get his 15 minutes of family fame.
I'm just a neglected youngest child.
You know what? Let's start now, Dan. Let's break out the camera, make our own little family films, and then showcase them at your house so your parents feel bad.
But it's like, it's me now, but it's things I do as a kid. So I'm in clothes that are like way too small for me.
Yeah, and we like throw you in like T-ball or something.
Yeah, like we do a wiffle ball, and like I'll swing and I'll just miss and then fall down and start crying. But it'll just be really depressing because I'm 20.
I'll teach you how to ride a bike again.
Go, Dan, go! And then like it's like a small bike with training wheels. It just breaks underneath me. It's like, oh, we're gonna have to do a reshoot of that one. That wouldn't have happened as a kid. I wasn't that fat.
Jeez. We have that beautiful moment where you say, "Don't let go," and I go, "I already did," and you're like, "I'm doing it."
But then it turns into an action sequence where I'm rolling down the hill and I can't stop, and the runaway train is also on the way.
Do you recall how you were taught to ride a bike when you were a kid?
No, I don't remember.
I distinctively do, and I realize how bizarre it was now. So,
yeah.
Me, my brother, and my mother were in my backyard, and essentially what it was is they took the training wheels off my bike and kind of rolled me back and forth between the two.
Oh?
Like say there was like a 15-foot gap in between, and they would essentially just push me between the two, and they would then catch me.
You know, it sounds like it sounds like you're chained. Like they didn't want you as a kid, so they kind of like chained you to the basement and never let you see sunlight. But they still wanted you to like eventually grow up and function as a human being. So they just kind of took you in the backyard to teach you how to ride a bike in the most different way possible.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what it was like. I wasn't chained to the basement, but I mean, my Xbox kept me there.
Well, technically you were chained. The controller strapped you in.
Yeah, you know, honestly accurate. Maybe that was their, like, shit, he might go off the deep end. How do you teach someone to ride a bike? I don't know.
And it's just, fuck it, push him back and forth. Okay.
Well, you know what? I can ride a bike just fine now. It's been years since I've rode a bike, though.
I remember I had a fear of bikes.
How do you mean?
Like, I had a fear of riding bikes, because one time I was going down a hill, and I hit some sand and like tried to brake as hard as possible, but instead flew over my handlebars and like almost broke my jaw on a curb.
I have had a similar story, and I feel like a lot of people also have.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm never getting on a bike again. I'm not going anywhere near that thing. Give me 4 wheels, I can't do 2.
I was actually kind of similar, but what it was is like, because going back to the I was a little shit thing, never wore my helmet or anything.
Same.
So when that happened, I just became like a super safety freak for like a month, where I wore like knee pads and elbow pads and a helmet when I got on the bike.
I love that.
Well, because genuinely, it's kind of like you said, like you almost smashed your face on a curb, and when you're like what, eight,
Yeah.
yeah, probably around like 8 when that happened to me. You know, it's a lot more scary than what it actually was. For all I know, I probably was going like 10 miles an hour, but I felt like I was going 70.
Oh yeah. No, I feel that. I was like, it's as if I was going Mach 10 and I flew into a brick wall. Like I thought I was gonna die, but in reality, it wasn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. It's just like when you get hurt as a kid, it's the end of the world.
Oh, it's a lot worse. It's a
Yeah.
lot. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like I remember,
Now I could chop my toe off, and I'd be like, oh, really?
I don't feel pain anymore.
I don't know who I'm fronting for. I'd be crying like a baby.
Well, I'd imagine, but good times, man. I
Good
remember the good old
times. Yep.
days.
That's an experience every kid should have, though. That momentary, like, stomach dropping of when you break on sand.
Oh yeah, no, that is, it's a wake up call in life. Like I feel that's where you have your epiphany, where you're like, okay, I know what I need to do to become a successful human being.
It's where boys become men.
Literally, that is the turning point. Puberty, no. Like skating on sand on your bike, yes.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's like the kid version of hydroplaning, right?
Yeah, it's literally.
It is a dangerous thing. You know, you definitely get hurt doing it.
I don't. Did you ever have this experience? I feel like every kid did, but it could just be me. Where like, say you're playing a sport or you're hanging out with your friends, and you're messing around, like you're kind of bumping into each other, yada yada, and one kid gets hurt and then ruins the entire fun for everyone.
Oh my god, yeah. And unfortunately for my childhood friends group, it was the same person every freaking time.
Yeah, I remember playing basketball. All right, I'm gonna set the scene for you. Little League Championship Series, or championship game. Everyone in the Little League was friends with each other essentially. So the people that didn't make the team, they went to show their support and also to play basketball because there was a basketball court at the field. We got our little 5-on-5 game going. We're running full court, and this one kid goes up for the rebound, lands, breaks his ankle. It's all over.
Oh no.
And it was literally within, I think it was the second play. I think someone scored, and then they passed it. Someone else took a shot. He went to get the rebound, snaps his ankle. And I was like, you know, because you want to feel sympathetic. You want to be like, oh, no, you okay? But at the same time, you're like, what are you doing? Why couldn't you just tough it out? Why'd you have to ruin the fun for everyone?
Kid's over here with like a bone popping out of his leg. Dan's like, what the hell?
Well, I feel that's how every kid is, but they're like, oh no, are you okay? But at the same time, it's like, just get up. Stop. You're not hurt. You're okay. Maybe.
I was the opposite. I don't know if you remember a while ago. Well, it's usually seasonal, but I have a problem with bloody noses.
Yeah.
It was a lot worse when I was a kid. So whenever we played basketball, there was like a 50% chance that if I got bopped in the nose, and when I say bopped, I mean like lightly tapped, my nose would just start bleeding.
Like a gentle breeze.
Yeah, pretty much. So when my nose would eventually start bleeding, we'd halt the game, and everyone would be like, "Oh my god, are you okay? What happened?" And I'd be like, I don't know." And I'd just like shove a tissue in my nose, and we'd go back to playing.
Oh, see, that's the kind of kid you need. You need the kid that's going to tough it out.
Honestly, if I didn't have a bloody nose like every other day or two, or yeah, every other day or two, I probably wouldn't have been so laissez-faire about it.
Yeah, I could see that.
But that's true. When I was younger, I feel like every kind of injury or situation was always so exaggerated.
Oh yeah. For example, there was so many times like I jammed my finger and had to have a splint, and like I'd only having a splint for like 2 days, but I'd just be like, this is it. My basketball career's over. There's no way I'm gonna make it to the league. I mean, in reality, I was never gonna make it to the league, but like, you know, boy can dream.
You know what? I'll expose something cringy about myself. Something similar happened to me with my finger. but it was my Call of Duty career that I was worried about.
You know, I can agree. I remember I sprained my index finger and I was like, how can I angle my hands around the controller to where I can still shoot? It was just gross. Well, actually, the one thing that get me distraught is like if because my all time favorite shit was in the winter when they made like the indoor bubble. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the bubble.
Yeah, where they made that, and we started having like 8 o'clock game, 10 o'clock games for soccer. And if I ever like hurt myself and couldn't play those games, I was a wreck. I was so upset. I used to love that so much.
Dude, if you're not there, you're square.
Honestly, I should get back into it. To be honest, I'm
Soccer.
yeah. Well, at least the indoor soccer, because that was a lot of fun. But I would be down to get into soccer again. I just don't have the time to commit to like a league.
Well, you could do like rec or something, right?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. Like I wouldn't be able to make any times there during the day. I don't know.
I'm sure if you do an adult league, people will be pretty understanding.
Yeah, that's true.
Dan's like, I just want to slide tackle some fucko in a game.
No, I mean I love when like spring and summer rolls around and like the goals get set back up at like high schools or fields because I love just going up by myself and doing free kicks.
Jeez, I remember last summer when you were doing that, and you would go out there on quite literally the muggiest days of the year.
Oh yeah, I'm always.
You're an animal.
I always try to be there. I mean, I on those days I'm only there for like an hour, but some days it's like, oh, there's some days where it's like bright sunny 70, and I'm like, fuck yeah, baby.
We'll have to do that with our friends group, but ultimate frisbee instead.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get everyone into soccer, but it's a lot more difficult than just ultimate frisbee. Actually, public service announcement: everybody needs to learn how to throw a frisbee by at least spring, because it can't be just me and Jordan being the only people that know how to fucking throw frisbees, man.
Excuse me?
All right, the last time we did it, only like 4 people could throw a frisbee. I don't remember who the other 2 were. I just remember Jordan was one of them.
It's me and Nathaniel.
Okay, probably that makes sense.
For our listeners out there, we played a decent bit of ultimate frisbee last
summer
season. Yeah, summer. And for some reason, the vast majority of our friends didn't get the memo on how to properly throw a frisbee.
Yeah, no, it was decently painful.
Well, what was more painful was just having to run 30 feet out of our way to try and catch it.
Oh yeah. Also, I had really bad shoes on, so I was sliding everywhere.
Well, and the field sucked because there was like a chance where you could freaking break your ankle in a ditch.
Oh yeah, there's like 5 of them. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and go back to our past. There was Call of Duty, there was Mario, and there was Sonic. Our good buddy Sonic is getting a movie, and I've seen this picture, and now I want you to see this picture. It is supposedly a leaked picture of what Sonic is going to look like in the movie.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
So, for our listeners out there, if you go back to, I don't remember what episode it was, but Dan had some strong opinions on the Sonic movie. Feel free to go check that out. Oh my god!
I'll leave the picture in the description for anyone who hasn't seen it. But this is the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
No, that cannot be real. That has to be
no. Hey, these are the leaked pictures. Can we talk about Sonic's kind of thick? Like, Sonic's kind of dummy thick for no reason. And it's really bothering me. And like he's got a little beef on his arms, and that's also bothering me. Everything about this is bothering me, actually. It just looks it looks like a fursuit.
It actually does look like it looks like someone's like, "Hey, can you," like they commissioned like an artist like, "Hey, draw me in my fursuit."
Yeah. And I want it to look like Sonic, but not exactly like Sonic. And he's like, "All right, I got you." And then drew this fucking abomination.
Oh my god.
What
is up with that? He's like all mouth.
Yeah. If you're listening to this in the car, I'm going to give you a rundown of what he looks like. You know Sonic, Blue Hedgehog. All right, so take that. Take the frame, throw it out the window. Now he's thick. He's
Got the proportions of a real human being,
not even
or rather, like a fake human being.
like a small person.
Yeah,
Like
accurate.
he looks like he's below 5 foot, and like his body's developed, but it only develops wide and not up. Like especially this man's hair is just everywhere. It's not working. His face looks like he'd abduct you at a Comic-Con. It's just it so makes me so uncomfortable to look at.
I kind of never want to see this movie.
I know I'm going to see this movie.
Yeah, tell me how it is. I don't.
I'll
I
let you know.
genuinely think that I don't think I've walked out of a movie before, but this would probably be the only one I would.
I think if I ever watch this movie because I liked it, or no, how about if I watch this movie and like it, I'll write a 10-page essay on why I love Sonic.
All right, that's a deal. Cut, clip it, whatever.
If I hate it though, then I'm gonna make a 20-minute video rant on how these frickin' fricks ruined the Sonic series.
Can I add another thing on top of it though?
Okay, yes.
You cannot be any form of inebriated when you go to see this movie.
That's not fair. That's
You need
not
to-
fair.
And I'm talking like you can't even go there on like a lack of sleep. Nada.
I'll be 21 by this time, so it's just not fair.
I think it is quite fair because let's be honest,
Because all right, then it's
I've watched some
torture.
pretty dumb. I've watched some pretty dumb movies, stoned, that I thought were pretty good, but only to go and watch them back sober for them to be absolutely abysmal.
No, but here's the thing: if I watch it high, then I'm gonna laugh at it of how bad it's gonna be. If I go to that movie sober, it's literally gonna be like I'm gonna reserve my ticket and I'm gonna be like C4, and miraculously the chair for C4 is broken, so they had to replace it with like an electrical chair, and I have to sit there strapped in. But they won't electrocute me, so I have to watch it. I'm just in a
Honest,
wooden splintery chair.
wooden splintery chair. Jeez.
You know, I see this picture and like I'm really praying there's no Knuckles or Tails.
God.
Oh,
I have to close this picture. I can't look
I
at it.
pray that there is no. I don't know who the female Sonic is or what his love interest is,
Uh,
but that would be fucking terrifying.
Gosh, it's not Daisy. Is it Rose?
It might Rose sounds the most accurate, but I think it began with an A. But I do not care enough to remember. But I imagine like Knuckles,
Steven, thank you. It's Amy Rose.
Amy Rose.
So we were both right.
Sounds like a porn star, but that's okay.
Now I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, you're just gonna have to feel our pain at this point. But I'm gonna keep going because imagine what Knuckles would look like. He'd kind of look like a fucking Final
He'd be a
Fantasy
unit.
summon,
He would be a unit.
an absolute unit. And Tails, maybe Naruto's like Nine-Tailed Fox. maybe that's the image.
God, can this movie just never actually get released?
All right,
Please?
so
Like,
we have Sonic the Fursuit, and who was in this movie with him? We talked about it, but I remember there was somebody pretty famous that's, I guess, his sidekick. And also the fucking plot of the movie, that's
Well, Jim Carrey's playing Dr. Eggman,
oh my fucking god.
and Ben Schwartz, he's a character in Parks and Rec, is playing Sonic, and James Marsden, I think, is playing another character. You'll know him when you see him, but he was in stuff like The Notebook, Hairspray. Like, you'll definitely know him when you see his face.
Okay.
And he's playing a character called Tom Wachowski.
Tom Wachowski. Good one. All right. I'm done with Sonic.
Honestly, I'm just done with Sonic. like in general?
Yeah, it's been fucking dead for a long time now, but they just can't seem to let it die ever. Um, all right. Anything you want to talk about, bud?
Uh, well, something that's less interesting, but still good. It's kind of like an uplifting news thing at the same time down news. So, in Canadian schools, like the Canadian School Board has issued over 6,000 suspension notices over lack of vaccination records, which is big news for a few reasons.
Okay, hold on. Can I stop you really quick?
Sure.
I popped open the article, and can we talk about this picture that has somebody like they're gonna get a shot, but the way that the picture's taken, it looks the hand's blurred, so it looks like it's coming in at Mach 10, like she's just stabbing him, not actually going for the shot, just shanking him with a syringe.
Gee.
We'll leave the article in the description. Give it a look. All right, continue.
So, anyways, well, I believe this is like one of the first like mass suspensions over, kids not being vaccinated. But it's a very important thing to be vaccinated. And if you are an anti-vaxxer in this day and age,
Die
please seek
like your
mental
kids
help.
will. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like when diseases that have been extinct or not been around for like 40 years are popping up, like what was it, measles or what,
Yeah,
smallpox
like
maybe popped up in
like
Venezuela, I think.
yeah, I saw that. But it's like your voodoo magic shit isn't gonna stop yellow fever when your kid
Yeah.
miraculously attracts it.
So good job to Canadian school boards doing this because it is an important thing, especially with all the immigration and vacationing that we have access to now with planes and stuff. You never know what you could bring back with you or what someone could pick up even from your local facilities. So stay
Yeah.
safe, get your vaccines.
There's I feel like yeah, in this day and age there's literally no excuse to not vaccinate your kids. Especially in Canada where your fucking healthcare is free. Like, what excuse do you have? Jesus is not taking the common cold away from little Jimmy.
Yeah, I forgot, eh? Actually,
Oh,
funny enough, the common cold is one of the few illnesses that's been around for so long that we actually have no cure for.
yeah, I mean it's just got to run its course.
Well, that's exactly it. We have
But it's
things to treat the symptoms, just not the actual illness.
hmm,
And in kind of like that same like medical news vein, also, HIV is reported cured in a second patient, which is interesting because it's kind of. So what it was is so for this is both cases, this article is for the second case specifically, but so both cases of it being cured have been through bone marrow transplants
oh,
that were done to cure cancer initially. So in both patients where HIV has been cured, it has been by accident.
oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So realistically, this isn't like, yay, we have found a cure for AIDS. It's more like we
Like
now can start narrowing down stuff to help make progress in the cure for AIDS.
yeah, like we did it, but I'm not sure how we did it.
Exactly. Like, could you imagine being the like doctor that can put on his resume like accidentally cured HIV?
Yeah, right. It's yeah, it's such an interesting thing.
Yeah,
Um,
because like I just found that like it was so indirect. Like they did not expect it. They didn't do the bone marrow transplant for the HIV. They didn't expect it to fix it, but it did.
Fun fact, I guess it comes nearly 12 years to the day after the first patient was cured.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
but it's also very kind of bad that it's been
Mhm.
12 years and we still couldn't have narrowed it down to how to duplicate it. if it's been such an epidemic. I mean, I don't know if it's been on the back burner, but
Well, I guess realistically, like this case specifically is just hope because, like you said, it's been 12 years. So this kind of like put it back in the news, I guess, that HIV is curable. You know, we do have drugs that can slow down the effects of it, but the ending of someone with HIV is clear
yeah, no, that's
for the
true.
most part. I hate to say it, but it's a pretty devastating disease.
Yeah, small interjection. Um, if you're of age and you're out and about having sex, make sure it's protected. Um, always wrap your willy. Always do that, cause
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
that's a good one. And if people, I think it's a good idea if you're gonna do like online dating or if you're just looking for like one night stands, that you should talk to the people and ask if they've been checked within recent years or if they've ever had a history of it.
Oh
Because
God, that
it,
that conversation when I had to have it was so awkward.
I mean, I imagine like if you get offended by it, then you're an idiot, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I never know. Because exactly, right? Like, you would think that. But when you actually have to be in the moment and ask, like, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
it's like really awkward.
Well, I feel like the way they see it or the way people should see it is like, oh, this person cares about their health. Cool.
Well,
But if they
yeah,
take,
this person doesn't want their genitals to be mutilated.
yeah. But if someone gets offended, they're like, "What am I dirty?" Then it's like, "Well, then I guess you are. Shoe fits, wear it." Not really.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, I got a little hypothetical for you.
Give me it.
Um,
That was rather forceful. Give me it.
Give me it.
Let's hear it, Dan.
Do you think that we have cures for diseases, but we don't use them because we make more money off people suffering?
Okay, conspiracy theory time.
I couldn't think of it. I couldn't think of the word. I was like, it begins with a C. Fuck.
So, I would like to say yes and no. So there's like half of me that says no is just like, I believe that humans are fundamentally good. There's no doctor that would take his oath or scientist that would withhold this kind of information. But then again, there's a side of me that knows that Big Pharma is pretty shady when it comes to, just lobbying in general. So I really don't want to say it's out of the realm of possibility, and that's the scary part.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I personally think that, say I'm on the side of like, yes, we have the cure. I don't think it comes down to doctors like, oh, I don't want to give this out. I think it comes down to like big farms and government. Like,
Oh yeah.
all right, I understand, but do you know how much fucking money we're making off hospitals and health?
I really don't think it'd be like that. I feel like it'd be a lot like darker and more corrupted. Like as soon as that information gets found out, like that person just like probably goes missing or something. I would imagine.
Yeah,
Could you imagine if it was found out? Like say, there's a huge leak, and it's been shown that our government has been withholding the cure for cancer for like say 10 years.
dude, I honestly think it has though. Like based on the progression we've made in society and especially through like health, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we might
Well,
have
that's the thing.
stumbled upon it.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but at the same time, I just want to. I just believe that since cancer has been like such a thing that's been like plaguing people, and there's so many like, okay, so cancer is like one of the like universal causes, right? That everyone will donate to. You get what I mean by that?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like there's the walks, there's like people wear pink in the NFL. Like everyone supports, finding a cure for cancer, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine how pissed off literally everyone would be if they found out they've been donating and trying to further this research ultimately to figure out that there has been a cure this whole time?
No, I agree that, but I also just like you've been saying, everyone knows about it and everyone donates to it. I feel like it's just a big money game, or it would be. I'm not saying like I actually think there's a cure. I'm just playing devil's advocate, just
Yeah.
so you know.
I didn't believe you were, that big on it. Like, it's definitely possible, but there's so many variables that would, like, get it blown up in their face if it was found out. I feel like it'd just be too dangerous to be kept secret.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I would think, like you said, for people that want to be whistleblowers on it are already just gone. They took their quote unquote vacation and ended up moving to Thailand or whatever.
Right. Right? Like, also, that, you know, that means that, like, say if the cure was found out, let's just keep going with 10 years ago, that every other nation that's been trying to cure it either has also discovered it is doing the same thing or hasn't discovered it yet. Like, that's, like, the thing that's making me also think, like, it's probably not the case, just because I find it hard to believe that some of the other industrialized nations, like, I don't know, Japan, Germany, you know, England, you know, I imagine a lot of places that are trying to develop or commit to research to help cure cancer.
Yeah.
I would imagine, like, other people would have probably at least gotten on the trail that say would have been the cure for cancer.
Yeah.
And the thing is about, like, the quote cure for cancer, each cancer is different. So there, even if there was a cure for cancer, it would only be for that specific kind of cancer. Well, at least most likely, that's what it's, like, foreseen as. Like, we would have to develop a cure for each type of cancer.
No, I guess that's true. I was just thinking.
So,
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, the question came to mind because I was like, the first thing happened 12 years. How's it taken 12 years for you to accidentally replicate what you did 12 years ago and you haven't, like, added upon it to find a cure?
well, I think what it was is, like, the reason why, like, they were cured is there was some form of cell that was found in the bone marrow of, like, that specific person that the transplant came from,
Uh-huh.
which is why it was, like, an unlikely occurrence.
That's fair.
So I really don't know what direction, say, the cure for HIV could go, because I guess I wonder, like, what steps do they take now? Do they, like, find the person that donated their marrow and be like, hey, you have special cells in you that, you know, could potentially cure cancer,
Hey,
or, sorry, HIV.
Hey, Fred, thank you, but we're gonna need a lot more bone marrow, if you
Like,
know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean.
like, it's a bone marrow is, like, I've heard the process just hurts a lot.
I'd imagine. Well, you gotta go into the bone.
Believe it or not, that's where the bone marrow is.
Some may say. Take it from me. I cut bones for a living for a while.
Did you actually?
No, like dog bones.
Curiosity. Sent you to do that, and I've kind of never wanted to Google it. But so is bone marrow, like, is it like a liquid?
No, it's essentially a solid.
Okay,
It's
that's what I thought. But, like, how would they extract said bone marrow?
it's kind of like frozen Greek yogurt. I think is the best thing I could compare it to. It's like semi-frozen Greek. I have a cup of Greek yogurt next to me
Oh, okay.
that I'm waiting to eat after this. But it's kind of like semi-frozen Greek yogurt where it's like when it's dried you can, like, scoop it, but if it's frozen you're not touching it.
Okay, interesting. Because, like, when you hear about bone marrow transplants, it's like what goes into my mind is, like, a big syringe is, like, somehow injected into your bone and it gets sucked out. But I feel like that can't be the case, right? Because it's, like you said, it's a solid. So, like, how would they have to, like, essentially, like, carve a big hole in your bone to get it out? Like, how does that work?
You cut off someone's arm at the wrist and you take your
What do you mean by at the... Wait, you said arm, but at the wrist.
you cut your whole hand off at the wrist. Sorry.
Okay, there it is.
That's all gone. So there's a big gaping hole, and what you do is you take your favorite Dyson vacuum and you put on the little small suction attachment, and it's a long process. You got to be in, like, 130-degree room to, like, heat up the bone marrow so that it sucks properly. And then you replace their bone marrow with jelly, because you don't actually need bone marrow. Like, it could suffice with a replacement. It just helps keep the bone structure intact, you know what I mean? So like you don't actually need it.
Interesting. I will now take this knowledge and regurgitate it to people as if it's fact.
I hope you do.
Thank you.
Hey guys, you know how you get bone marrow? And they're like, no, wait, what? And you're like, check this.
I can't wait to have Tyler cite you in his essay to get into med school.
And I'm the reason he gets in. Like he's like,
That you've just been on to it this whole time.
yeah, he's like, I never learned this. Fuck. I need this last question to get into med school. Oh, think. Dan said I needed a good Dyson vacuum to get it out. Oh, that'd be a tragedy.
Jeez. Gosh. Asterisk. Yeah, that's not how it's done, by the way. Just for the people out there that might have been not fully paying attention.
Just in case you're an anti-vax parent,
Jeez.
newsflash, your kid's gonna die.
Wow.
Dude, sorry, backtracking. Anti-vax parents are the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard of in my goddamn life.
Okay, I mean, I do agree with you.
Oh, Timmy, I'm sorry, we can't cure the cancer, but maybe Jesus can. Here, let's pray.
Don't even get me started on the pray away the illness type of
I'm
cults.
I'm sorry, we can't get the Black Plague out of your system. I'm gonna bring in 3 shamans, and we'll see what they can do.
Gosh.
I'm gonna bring in a priest. We're gonna exorcise that demon right out of you.
Actually, I was reading on Reddit. This is kind of like similar. So a doctor was ranting on, I can't remember what subreddit, but what it was is he has been working very closely, or he or she has been working really closely with this patient for a very long time to cure some kind of illness that he or she has had. And I guess at the end of it, the family held this thing, and he was invited because he was working with him. He declined, but I guess he heard that the whole thing was basically them saying, like, the patient was cured because they prayed hard enough.
Oh.
And he was just ranting about how dumb it is, like, that people don't, like, acknowledge the doctor's skill and dedication when it comes to curing people when they cite, like, religion stuff.
Oh, golly. Hey,
Like, I guess that's actually a sore subject among medical professionals, is, like,
I'd imagine.
the gratitude aspect of it, because obviously they don't do it for the gratitude, but at the same time, when your hard work and dedication gets summed up to someone praying, I guess it could be annoying. I'll have to try and find the Reddit thread. It was quite an interesting read.
Oh, yeah.
It turned into an AMA, like Ask Me Anything, halfway through it, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine you go to medical school, you go for like 10 plus years of extra schooling just for someone to say, well, it was God that cured my kid.
Jeez. Well, in 12 years, if we wait, we could ask Tyler what it feels like.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll see how med school goes for him.
For the people that don't know, our dear friend Tyler is trying to get into med school. God help him, he's going to be in school for so long.
Yeah, send your prayers. It might help school go by quicker for him.
Jeez, like he's going to be going through like 30 years straight of school, or not 25 years straight of school.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah. Gosh. I couldn't imagine doing 4 more years of school. Or more than 4 years of school.
Don't at me. I probably have around 4 more years.
Think so?
Probably. I don't know, depending on what path I decide to go down.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I imagine it's one of those things where you never know what's going to happen even within the next year. Like a lot can change. So you're just like, we'll play it by ear.
That's true. That's true. All right. So I do have a question for you.
Yes. Hit me. Hit me.
So hypothetically, a ghost will haunt you forever. You can choose who he or she is the ghost. Like, you get to choose who the person was, before dying, who's haunting you.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's your ghost? Who do you choose?
All right, now I have a few questions on this.
All right, hit me.
They have to be dead, I'd imagine, right?
Well,
we'll say yes. Say yes for this one, I guess.
It'd be a little weird to be like, you say someone that's currently alive.
Yeah. Um. Also, do I get to choose what are they haunting me or are they just hanging out with me?
Well, I mean, haunting, I guess, has the, I guess, stigma behind it that it means like they're fucking your life over, right? Let's just say like it depends on who you choose. So it's like, say if you choose like Hitler, he's your cupboards are gonna be, opening and closing, and dishes are gonna be flying everywhere. Not a good ghost.
Yeah, not a fan of that one. Do I get to choose which time of day they're around me, or are they always around me?
No, they're haunting you. Like they're
Okay.
attached to you.
Okay. Well, see, my first answer, if I could choose what time of day they haunted me, it would have been Macho Man Randy Savage, and he could haunt me in the mornings to get me up. But I think if I could choose someone to haunt me, I'd probably choose. This might sound kind of fucked up, but I'd choose Robin Williams because then he could kind of be Genie for me.
Okay. Not fucked up, actually. That's kind of wholesome in a way.
Yeah, it really tugged on the heartstrings for me, but
My answer was similar. I would say Bob Ross, just so like, say I'm like having a bad day, I can get told like uplifting stuff, from the air, essentially.
Bob Ross is a good one too. And I'd imagine it'd be one of those things like if you're ever feeling down and he'd like talk to you, like you come home, you throw your backpack and he's like, "Hey Bobby, what's the haps?" And you're like, Bob. Just like, but
Bob and Bobby.
Yeah,
it's like a shitty sitcom.
Kids at school were mean to me, and I didn't get my homework done. And he's just like, "Hey, Robbie, happy little accidents."
Happy little accidents.
You're like, "Thanks, Bob." And he's like, "Here,
we need those dark times so the happy times seem all the brighter."
He's like, "Hey, Bobby, it's okay. You want to see my picture of the mountain I just drew?" And you're like, "Oh boy, do I!" And it's beautiful.
You want to paint a picture with me?
Yeah, and you're like, "I never thought you'd ask, Bob."
Yeah, I feel like Bob Ross would be a great person to be haunted by.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with Bob Ross. That's a great answer.
I'm pretty on board with Robin Williams as well.
Like that?
Well, kinda, I guess.
Well,
I don't want to go too deep into it because it would get pretty depressing pretty fast.
Yeah, I think I just think he'd be very calm too. Like, I don't think he'd cause too much trouble. I feel like if he was in a mood, he'd be like Genie for me, and he's like, "Zim bam boom, what up?" And I'm like, "Hey Robin, how you doing?" Yada yada. I don't think he'd slam any cupboards on me.
If I were to pick anyone else, though, maybe like a jazz musician or something. So like, hopefully they could play some ghostly jazz.
Oh, dude, what if like you had like Louis Armstrong as your ghost?
Oh my gosh! So there's like a trumpet soundtrack following me everywhere.
Hey Robbie, how you doing?
Hey, Louis, can you sing me "Wonderful World" while I'm trying to go to sleep?
But
Sure thing.
kind of quiet. Yeah, kind of quieter. What a wonderful world.
I love this way you say "world" when you do the voice.
Well, Louis, because that's always kind of how he says it. Wild. Yeah, he's not wild, but he's wild. Yeah. I don't know if Dave Brubeck is dead, but I'd probably choose him for jazz musician.
Dave Brubeck. Let's see. Did you pick a person alive, Steven?
Give me a look. Give me the drum roll.
He's crawling out of his cage. Who did you say? Dave Brubeck?
Yeah.
Died in 2012 in Norwalk, Connecticut.
I almost said yes, but then I was like, wait, no.
That's
fuck. All right, I take Dave Brubeck. Carry on his legacy.
I respect that. He died in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, Robin Williams, Dave Brubeck. You got Bob Ross and Louis Armstrong. Oh, that reminds me. I listened to a podcast today. It was like a true crime podcast, and I guess in 2017 there was this dude on Twitter. You can look it up. It's called Dear David, and he posted stuff of it on Twitter, I don't know if it's fake or not, but it's really fucking scary.
What's it about?
Like this, there's this dude. He had like sleep paralysis, and I guess he'd wake up a lot of nights, and there'd be like a kid with an indent in his head staring at him.
Mm-hmm.
And one night where he had a dream, the person was like, "You say, 'Dear David,' and you can ask him 2 questions, but if you ask him a third question, he'll kill you." And then the dude, like, over the course of like months, gets haunted, and I guess like he moved to the apartment upstairs, and like every night at midnight, his cats would like walk to the door as if someone was out there, but no one would like knock or anything. And then he'd still have like sleep paralysis nightmares, and I don't know.
Jeez, can you link me that? That sounds intense.
Yeah, it was a whole Twitter thread, but I'll have to. I don't think it's real, but it was fucking insane.
Hey man, I still enjoy a good story.
Me too, man.
Me too.
You want to take us home, buddy?
I'll take us home on them country roads. All right,
Country
folks,
road. Sorry.
Actually,
Take me home
all right,
to
folks,
the place
the Frying Pan Podcast.
I belong.
Episode
West
18.
Virginia.
Episode 18.
Mountain. Okay, go. I'm sorry.
Episode 18, and this will be coming out on Thursday the 7th. So if you're listening on Thursday, today, depending on your perception of time, have a great rest of your day. And if you're listening to this after that, well, thanks. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, we are on social media. We have a Twitter and Instagram. The handle for that is the Frying Pan Pod. Sauce us over a follow on both those platforms. We'd appreciate it. We are posting more regularly than we have in the past.
I've been slapping an Instagram post every Thursday, so to accommodate our new video.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. Your hard work and dedication will pay off.
I hope someday.
And if you are currently listening to us, which you would have to be if you are listening to this, that means you are listening on some of those audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, Podbean, or YouTube. So if you're on any of those, please give us some form of rating, a comment, like, star rating, whatever. And, give us some constructive criticism. We appreciate it. We do this to get better. You could also send us over some business inquiries or other criticisms over at our email, inthepanpodcast@gmail.com. That would be appreciated. We check that regularly as well. And if you just want to talk, hey, we're there as well. So we would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last time, this has been the Frying Pan Podcast. I've been your luscious co-host, Robert D'Onofrio.
And I've been your voluptuous host, Daniel Dummy Thick Sear.
Daniel Dummy Thick Sear.
Except I forgot I didn't do it in the beginning, so I'll do it in the end.
And this has been the Frying Pan Podcast. Have a great rest of your week, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.
Take care.